The last couple of months have been whiskey heavy, and now the summer has certainly gone. It's dram time.
This is the best time of the year.
Plenty of new whiskey coming in, varying from 20 quid bottles to a £54,000 whiskey sample. So let's talk about whiskey this month, or as my bottle slap club has decided, welcome to OnlyDrams.
You are filth. I spit in the face of filth.
I hope you're thirsty to join me, the bottle slapper in the shirt and shades. If this sounds good, slap subscribe, but let's crack on.
Jeff Whisker.
There's a lot of whiskey to cover. This really is spanning a couple months as time just goes so fast. And I'm going to dive in big with a sample I sipped the last drops of on my live stream, and it was Balvenie 50. The official name is the Balvenie 50 Collection First Edition 50-year-old.
That's quite a mouthful.
I know. We're working on it.
There is a lot of faff around this bottle, which is charging an obscene £54,000, and for the whiskey wash they wanted my tasting notes, so they gave me a little sample which had just enough to pull out a mini review. The angry peasant in me wanted to say it was trash, but it was just amazingly good. Pretty sure on stream I was lost for words for a bit. It's most likely the oldest whiskey I've had, and certainly the most expensive, and it is one of those bottles that come with that super premium packaging. They have all these like cool concepts and produce all this ornate stuff, with some looking like art and others trash. Maybe slamming these ultra premium packaging could be a good video topic. But yeah, it'd be great just to let us know how much money the liquid is actually worth for just like in a generic glass bottle than the fancy paperweight price. Though this Balvenie one did look quite cool and much better than that weird McLoughlin donut that's everywhere.
You want that donut?
The actual review will be linked below, and it's a shame that I don't think many people will be opening and trying this, but honestly, delicious, possibly one of the best sips of whiskey I've had in a long time. And now we're going to fly to the other end of the spectrum. Speyburn 10. I ordered this for 20 quid. Yes, it is from Bezos. Hands up.
Jeff Bezos can Bezos our butt.
I really wanted to get that Deanson 18 offer they had, which made it 50 quid. Sadly, I was too slow, and I saw this had like 2 offers you could combine, and thought it would be a good bottle to battle against the 15. I've only had about 2-3 small glasses, and it's not bad. It certainly sits well at that price point, and nothing compared to the 15. They're just like completely different drams.
What a surprise.
Then moving on to the start of September, there was the London Whisky Show. I've got a video on that, but I had some stellar stuff, and one of the standouts was this. I don't know where I've put it. The Wireworks Bourbon Cask.
Bye, my friend.
A little bit of card fell off. Let's put that back on there. This bottle from White Peak Distillery I was super impressed with. I think lots of people have done quite positive glowing reviews on it. There's a great one on Dramface, and I think Roy was giving praise for the bourbon barrel on a live stream as well. This one was also nominated in the Oscars under Best World Whiskey, so I thought it'd be rude not to get it.
It's worth a look, in the name of science.
There was a great deal on Tydrum whiskey. Tydrum? An awesome online shop where I also got my hands on another bottle, which I'll get to. But yeah, I was really impressed by this, so much so it makes me want to shout about English whiskey and have like a platform to showcase the best of it.
Yes, do go on.
No spoilers. Keep your eyes peeled. I'm going to jump around to another bottle which only fell through the door maybe yesterday, the day before. Another flying label. The Wireworks Necessary Evil. Where did that even go? That's better. Major design flaw, it's not built to be thrown around. I'll have to have words. So I loved the bourbon barrel so much, and I've got a real soft spot for stouty finishes. And so when I think this had about 10 quid off the RRP at Master and Malt, I had to go for it. You can see I'm only like a glass down, and as of yet I'm not quite in love with it as much as the bourbon barrel. It does still feel solid, but from the first visit it does feel a bit more subdued. Maybe that's the stout finish, or is it stout maturation? I'll look at that at the full review. I'm planning on doing like a stout cast showdown soon, and if I say it's for content, I'm allowed to buy it, right?
Whatever you need to tell yourself to make it better.
So big cheers to Rob for finding that deal, and also massive thanks to the Bottle Slap Club for giving me the chance to spend money on whiskey to make this content. You're welcome.
Thank you for this gift.
So let's keep the bottle train going. I think this is the most distilleries I've ever had so far in a couple of months, and including 2 which I'll admit I'm a sellout for. Sound the alarm.
Jeff is a sellout. Jeff is a sellout. Jeff is a sellout.
First is the Lochlea Harvest 3rd crop. So it was offered to the awesome teal tinted review website with the aliases. where it gets deflected to different people on the team.
Telling you, we got a real mystery on our hands.
So Lochlea didn't know it came to me. They may do now. Probably don't watch me. And before you detectives try to work out who, it's not my review that was published. Not that it isn't obvious, and I'm pretty sure I've been outed on the Dram Face Christmas end of year tasting. But anyway, I've raved about Lochlea for a while now, and this whole whiskey goose lore that I've got came from one of their car strength releases. Yeah, this channel's been going on for so long now, there's like a backstory for things. There's lore, there's in-jokes. Still not good quality. I am really impressed with it, to be honest. I'm not going to quite do a full review on it, as I know some folk would get mad, and frankly, fair enough. If it's not my cash going in on it, it does make it harder to judge the value fairly. You may see this bottle turn up in a few other videos that I'm working on. I'm all about transparency, you know, you've got to be able to trust a slapper. I do have the cash strength batch 2, I think, in my cart, ready for the next whiskey splurge, though I really should stop for the year. But yeah, really solid, beautiful summer whiskey. It's like juicy, like it really reminds me of Pimm's, but leagues better. But let's jump back on the sellout train. This awesome and strange 19-year-old single cask Bruichladdich. Look at that.
It's pretty smooth, huh?
So it's referred to as end of message. It's from a pair of casks that were fully matured in sortine casks. I've got to provide some tasting notes for it. And after the one glass I've had so far, it's not for me. There's this pretty strong sulphur gunpowder note going on, which is one of my least favourite notes in whiskey. There's like an interesting cheese thing going on, but yeah. I will be returning to this and I will put some full notes together. But as it stands, it's not my jam.
You can't say that, dude.
There's a cool backstory which I want to look into more. There was 2 casks that a dad brought for his 2 kids. So they'd done 2 casks, 2 siblings, 2 bottles, 3 years apart. I left a tiny little dribble in my glass the other night and I came back and that gunpowder shot just made the entire room smell like there was a battlefield in here.
The air hung heavily with the acrid smell of gunpowder and the stench of the dead.
Right, so now circling back. God, I've been on LinkedIn too much. To the other bottle from Tydrum, this amazing turntable. Bittersweet Sympathy blended Scotch whiskey. I've been super lucky to have tried like the majority in their range, and the Bittersweet Sympathy was one that just stayed in my mind since first sip. I saved a small measure in each of the samples, ready for the time for when I bought the bottle, so then I can go back and do like a big turntable deep dive. So let me know if that's what you want to see. Nominated in the Oscars for Best Blended Scotch, it is just awesome stuff. And it is what's in my glass at the moment. It's like liquid raisins, white sugar, super buttery mouthfeel. Yeah, just a banger. So next, there's no order to this. This is just a wild ride for you. Let's talk Glasgow. Sadly, not Glasgow Whisky Festival. It wasn't in my budget this year. But if you've gone, have an awesome time.
I'm not jealous, all right?
But let's go to Glasgow Distillery. With this spectacular release, a collaboration between the distillery and Vin No Nonsense Whiskey. I'm a big fan of Glasgow and I guess Vin, he's alright, but when 2 awesome entities get together it can produce magic, which this is. I've only had like 2 glasses of it and I may be biased, so take note, but this is the best Glasgow I've had to date. I love the peaty cash strength and this is just a beauty. Real smack of fruit and smoke and yeah, just so good. It's also released at 59 quid and that's like unheard of for a fully natural 60% ABV. I was tempted to grab a second after the first sip of this, but it sold out fast. Then keeping it Glasgow Distillery, I've got 2 samples which I'm writing reviews for the Whiskey Wash. I say little samples, they're quite chonky, hefty things. They're the 2 limited releases in batch 2. It's an unpeated Tokai cask and a lightly peated cognac. I'm still working on them, but before this bottle turned up, that cognac was my favourite by quite a while.
Wow, that pronunciation is flawless.
Melted Werve originals over a wood fire. I felt the Tokai cask was fine, didn't really hit the high notes of the other 2, not necessarily was for me. I do need to carve time to kind of compare them, review them, write up the tasting notes and all that lot, but...
What's a hard life? I have work to do.
And I'm sure I'm forgetting something. Oh, there was the Sir Davis Beyonce bottle, which is having an interesting time. Quite a few folk moaning about it, even with fans complaining that the pre-orders never arrived. I did a full review where I talk about the damages, pros and cons of celebrity whiskey, and in truth I think it's the best video I've produced to date.
Not much competition there.
Interestingly, it was the first time I've experienced that kind of YouTube wobble thing where there was something going on. I wasn't able to fully access my account and I was thinking, oh no, this is the end of Jeff Whisky. Luckily, there was a support person and it was all resolved within a day, but I'm pretty sure it was Rod Stewart behind it.
Talking about music, rock and roll, Rod was telling about the halcyon days of the Faces, and we were deciding to create the brand Lochlea.
I'll check up a graph to show you because I thought it was really interesting how it kind of like did really well, died, and then suddenly came back to life. And if you'd like seeing the back end of what it's like doing Whiskey Tube, if that's any interest, let me know. I'm only a really small channel, but I'm happy to be transparent, and if anyone else is tempted to give Whiskey Tube a go, if I can, you can. And on that quite upbeat message, I hope you've enjoyed this episode of OnlyDrams, which doesn't really work because I've got bottles, but I guess it's only the drams I've had. Probably shouldn't think about too much. Let me know your thoughts on this filthy name and format. I think it's pretty on brand for this channel, to be fair. And if you've enjoyed this, slap subscribe, hated it, give it a dislike. Cheers to the Bottle Slap Club, my YouTube members who make this possible. That was weak. That's better. Shout outs to DameJudiHench, Jolly Rover, Rick Johnson and Mike Smith, and all of you for watching. Grateful to have you here, and cheers to the next one.